last of the neighborhood nurseries. This is it. All the others are gone. Closed. I have a bad feeling this may be the next development. There's still a lot of plants in there. It's all overgrown. A friend of mine used to know who owned this. Maybe I should find out. You can see that some of the other nurseries have been turned into houses. Look at how many houses they packed in here. It's a whole bunch. This was 3 houses. It was a nursery with 2 houses. Now, it's these sort of box, I don't know if they're box style or mixed box or whatever they call them. But, I mean, they're big homes crammed in smaller lots. This is a very old neighborhood. I remember this neighborhood from many years ago. We had a lot of friends that lived here. Sadly, I don't think any of them still do. Now, there used to be an empty piece of land back here. Wow, the old house is still there. How did that survive? Still has power. You know this is days away from being demolished. Look at this. For sale. Yeah, this place has no chance. This is the old Florida house that we used to have everywhere. It won't be there for long. I give this, I don't know, a few months. As soon as somebody buys this, the first thing they're going to do is tear it down. And you can see there was a house here. It's gone. They're going to buy these up and build a bunch more of them little tiny houses. Wow, it's even got the old wide jalousies. Unbelievable. Years ago, you could buy this place cheap. Not now. This would cost you probably $3 million. They cut off this road that used to go back here. They built houses on part of it, and they're building a church in another part. Oh, this is the last of the original lots. You got some pine trees. Protected natural area. Interesting. Used to be able to drive through here, but I see they have fenced it off recently. This fence isn't that old. Huh. Can't even get back here anymore. Amazing. You can see it used to say hidden driveway because there was that house over here. Huh. Well, there's just not that much left. So the way I figure it, the nursery's closed. This house is for sale. They'll build probably 10 of these McBox style houses where that was. Pretty sad. But there's still a few old ones here. Not many. There's a few. This is an old neighborhood. They started building houses here in the late 40s. That's probably when that one was built. Here's some peacocks. It's another bird I've never cooked. Look at those peacocks. There goes the peacocks. Wow, there's still an old house back there too. Incredible. There's another peacock. This McMansion is for sale. Luxury collection, Berkshire Hathaway. Look at this ugly thing. Ugh. That was built sometime in the 90s. Piece of garbage. There's another peacock. There's a lot where they knocked down a house. There's a lot of peacocks over here. That's an old house. You can always tell because they have that angled roof and the little windows at the top. And those are jalousie windows, so that's an old house. That's another one that'll be knocked down. So, and there's one back there, and that one's got new windows on it. So probably not in danger of being knocked down for a while. But still, won't be there for too long. Again, they don't even have a sidewalk in this area. I don't remember if they have one. Yeah, they got one by the road, I think. But anyway, this is an example of what this area used to look like. It was a pretty nice area. The problem is, yeah, that one's for sale too. The problem is, they're building crap like this. I mean, look at this monstrosity. Where that empty land was, they built all these black, white, and gray houses. I see they're doing some landscape work. I know what country they're from. Yep. Guatemala or Mexico or something like that. You can see, actually this is interesting. Pine Rockland Estates. Christ Journey Church. Yeah, see they're building a church over there. There's big money in that. They've got some perennial peanut over here. They've got some native pine trees. Well, that is kind of a nice touch. But that perennial peanut is a good forage. So that's what they're building here, a big old church. They can make more money off of all the people. They got the houses they already built and sold. But this is interesting. Sort of like a little mini park or preserve. I see they got the saw palmettos. I can never find those for a landscape job. I thought about starting my own nursery. This is interesting. Everything here looks like it's a native plant. Gumbo limbo, yeah. Let's see. Million Orchid Project. Okay, so they put orchids on these pine trees. Please clean up after your pet. Got all the native ground cover. There's a bunch of cocoa plums here. Very interesting. This is the wild coffee plant. Wow. I'm not sure if that's wiregrass or what that is. Those look like thatch palms. Interesting. Pine Rockland ecosystem. Well, that's what was here, but they never had, these orchids never grew on pine trees. That looks like a Geiger tree over there with an orchid growing on it. Huh, yeah, those are definitely thatch palms. This almost looks like lantana, but I know it's not because lantana is invasive. Huh. This is interesting. It really is. I guess they have gas service here. There is natural gas in this neighborhood. All right. Got some Florida coonties. Man, a lot of stuff here. Huh. Last time I was here, it was just an empty lot with grass in it. They started to build a church here back in 2008, then they ran out of money. But I guess they got the money. I see they built the houses back there. So they used some of the land for the parking lot in the church and some of it to build those houses. This land was originally owned by the county. The government actually got it from a drug dealer back in the 80s. This church is super old. It's got to have been here since the 70s, because I remember it as a kid. Now he's got people here selling plants and stuff. Orchids $10 and up. Mostly up. Huh. Yep. But the old neighborhood, it's still partially intact. All right. Well, we're heading over for the Palmetto Expressway. See, I'm waiting for the bus. This school, that's been here since the 80s. Montessori school. Yes, Serena Camino over 40 years, that's correct. I remember when that house was for sale back in the early 80s. You got a church back there too. That used to, I think that's a gay church. Something like that. Yeah, that little house on the corner is still there. I guess now it's some kind of school or center. Center for Autism. Okay. That's good. It's a good place for it. All right. This is a really dangerous place to go. Got them bushes there, you can't see anything. There we go. All right. Made it through. I'm happy about that. Yep, this is the Palmetto Expressway. That's pretty much, it's been added on, but it's basically the original bridge under here. I see they put a mixture of native and non-native landscaping. Roadside landscaping never gets properly maintained. There's just not enough time and money to do it. But it was interesting seeing that landscaping they put over there at the church, all the native plants. That's kind of a nice touch. All right. Okay. All right. Well, going through the old neighborhood, the old bike path, which I think is still the same old bike path. All right, there we go. Yep. That's it. Well, I'm sure I bored you with enough of my talking. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut this off. And don't forget that tomorrow, live at 8 with Rick, Saturday morning, 8 to whenever. We start running out of viewers and we shut it down. That's the way it works. All right, I'll catch you then.